Hey guys, it's me again with a new I Am Fun Size for you. Oh my goodness, I am so excited about talking to you about this topic because I think I finally figured out something today when I was hiking. And I was so excited to put together a video for you that I just got my dinner and it's over there getting cold, but I really wanted to make this video first. So here we go. Let's talk about the concept of loving yourself. For some of you, if you're like I was, those two words put together make me gag a little, make me go, oh God, what does that even mean? Love yourself. I mean, it sounds so cheesy. For me, in many moments in my life, actually, for most of my life, not only did it make me roll my eyes, but it made me feel stupid because I had no idea what that meant. How do I just love myself? How do I love myself on days when I may not even like myself? What does that mean? What does that look like? Now, for a lot of people, it seems to come easily, and they get it, and they know what it means, and they have tons of self-esteem and confidence, and they can honestly say, yeah, I love myself, I like myself, I love myself. Boom, it makes perfect sense. But for some of us, and it definitely has been like this in my life for much of my life, that concept is just a completely foreign thing. And then, God forbid, you want to get into a healthy romantic relationship with someone or any kind of relationship with someone, and you hear someone say something like, well, you have to love yourself before you can love anyone else. And then you feel like, great, I'm screwed. Thanks so much for that fantastic piece of information. Because if you don't know how to love yourself, then how can you love someone else if that's true, right? Okay, here's what I figured out for me. Because sometimes I need things broken down in very small increments and I want to say handleable, but that's not a word, but we're going to use it anyway. Handleable increments in order for me to be able to put them into use. And particularly at the time in my life when I was at my lowest, loving myself seemed so far off. It seemed like a science fiction movie. It seemed so... I didn't really understand in any way how that could happen in my life. Okay, here's one thing. Look at the concept of loving yourself as a verb and not a feeling. Look at the word love as something you do and not necessarily just something you feel. Now, this is going to sound potentially crazy to those of you who don't have pets, but for me, the perfect example of me understanding, oh, that's what it means to love yourself, actually came from watching me or kind of sort of watching myself take care of my dog, Charlie, who some of you know is, one of the great loves of my life. So let's look at that. What's it like when I love Charlie? Well, no matter what happens, I make sure he has good nutrition. No matter what happens, I make sure he gets out for a walk. No matter what happens, I do certain things. I take certain actions to take care of him and to make sure that his well-being is ensured. Now, I have been guilty at many times in my life of being better at taking care of Charlie than myself. And that's not loving myself, right? So, what are things that you do or you have done in your life for someone or something that you have loved, whether it is a family member, a boyfriend or girlfriend, or spouse, or a pet, or your career, or your vocation, or your hobby? Because the same actions that we take when we love something like that are similar to the actions we can take to love ourselves. You don't have to feel it. And you don't have to like yourself in every moment to act on loving yourself. You can still do something that is good caretaking for yourself. You can still do something that is tough love. Now, I don't mean punitive, penalizing, mean love where you tell yourself you're a loser and therefore you have to do something. That is not love. That is not a loving action. But what is a loving action is, I know I don't really want to get out of bed today, but I need the fresh air. and I'm going to do something loving for myself and make sure I get out and take a walk. Doesn't even have to be a crazy workout. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do something because I want to take care of this being. I am going to love them. I am going to love myself. Does this make sense? There are simple actions that you can take, like baby steps on a daily basis that you would do for someone else or something else. Devoting time to yourself. Devoting time, the same way you love your career or your vocation or your hobby, you can devote time and attention to yourself. Make sacrifices for your own well-being. And here's the other thing. You don't have to be good at it all the time. Like, you just have to keep intending to do it and doing it. I am not good at loving myself all the time, but in every relationship we have, we're doing our best, right? And the most important relationship you have in your lifetime is your relationship with yourself, because you spend the most time with yourself. And if you are there not acting in loving ways to yourself, it's not only, this is where I think the concept of you can't love someone else until you love yourself happens. It's not that you can't. I spent most of my adult life doing that and my young life doing that. I was better at loving other people than I was at loving myself. But, so you don't have to be good at it, but the better you are at loving yourself and the better you are at practicing kindness and self-care and laughing at yourself and letting yourself off the hook when you make a mistake but learn from it. All of these things, those loving actions that you can take on a daily basis, simple loving actions, all of those will make you better at loving someone else because you have practice. Now, this is where I think that whole trope is somewhat wrong about you can't love someone else until you love yourself. I learned to love myself by watching how good I was at loving other people and loving Charlie and loving my career. Because the things and people that I devoted my time and energy and heart energy to all thrived. But I wasn't thriving because I wasn't doing it for myself. And so I want to leave you guys with this. I want to leave you guys with this concept. Do something today, whether you like yourself or not. Do something today that is loving yourself. Do something good for your body. Do something good for your soul. Do something that you have been doing for other people but haven't necessarily been doing for yourself. Find a way to take action and love yourself as a verb. The feeling follows, because as someone very wise once told me, the key to self-esteem is really simple. For self-esteem, you do things that yourself, you, find esteemable. The more you act in ways that are loving to yourself, that are kind to yourself, supportive to yourself, engaging to yourself, the more you act in those ways, the more self-esteem you can have, because you will realize how valuable you are. And you will feel better about yourself. It's this beautiful cycle. You'll feel better about yourself for having done it. So, you can tell I'm passionate about this. I want to talk about this for 20 freaking minutes, but I'm going to leave you and go eat my dinner and just ask you to do something for yourself today that is a loving act. And tell me what it is. Tell me in the comments. Tell me on Twitter. Tell me on Facebook or Instagram or wherever you feel like telling me. Tell me at Anjali@IamFunsize.com. What does it mean to you? Again, you don't have to like yourself. You just have to make the act happen. Act lovingly to yourself. Okay, tell me what you think. Send me all the emails and stuff. If you like this video, please subscribe. Please share it with friends. This is a topic that we will continue to hit back on, I'm sure, many, many times in this series. But fun size your heart and fun size your life by doing loving things for yourself. Okay, I'm going to stop now. I sound like a crazy woman. Bye, guys. Mwah. Love yourself.